So guys, as you know, and as you can deduce from the title of my channel, I love opera. But to be honest with you, I don't enjoy all operas the same. That would be exactly like assuming that someone that says I love film loves absolutely all movies, irregardless of whether it's a drama, a comedy, long, short, foreign feature, etc. And so I can understand if you're trying to get into opera that it might be a bit challenging to pick one because there is so much opera that is so different. It's kind of like, I can imagine you being stuck like on a Netflix homepage trying to just pick one. So in this video, instead of giving you like my 5 top choices, I'm going to give you 5 different approaches as to picking something that you might like. If you're new here, my name is Anna and I am an orchestra conductor, and I hope this video helps you pick an opera, or if you're already into opera, perhaps you discover new ones that you didn't know of, like me, because I am constantly discovering new operas that I had no idea. Guys, there's a lot of opera out there. So the first thing I would consider if this is your first opera is the length. I think this is the first thing that keeps people away from trying opera, because there's this idea that every single piece of opera lasts 3 to 4 hours, and I can completely understand you not having 3 or 4 hours to devote to something that you don't know whether you will like. So I think there's 2 ways to go about it. If you're watching your first opera at home, pick whatever you like based on the other stuff that I'm gonna mention, and then just watch it in installments. However, if you want to do it all in one sitting, I have 2 recommendations for you. If you're watching at home, meaning if you're streaming something or looking for something up on YouTube, I'm going to list you here a bunch of operas that last an hour or less. They are really cool, very short, very concise. But if you want to go to a theater and watch it live, which I completely recommend because the live experience is just so much more impactful than, you know, watching it online. So if you have the chance, you want to go to a theater, what I would recommend is to go for a Puccini opera, meaning either La Boheme or Tosca. Any theater in about any city is going to have one of these Puccini operas, so that could be a good first attempt if you're considering length. Now, on the topic of languages. Now, this is a comment that I hear the most related to not giving opera a shot or not thinking that you will enjoy opera. A lot of people don't enjoy watching something that is not in their native language, be that opera or film. Personally, it's completely the opposite for me because I love languages, and that is what I love the most about opera, that there are so many languages and I love trying to learn them and understand them. But I completely get if this is not you. Also, I do want to point out that any theater, any opera theater at this point offers subtitles in the language of the country that is in. And some opera houses that are very big have subtitles in, let's say it's in Germany, have subtitles in German and in English in case there's a tourist around. So you get 3 languages for the price of 1. However, if you already know that you don't enjoy, that you don't connect with things that are not in a language you understand, try and see first if you can pick an opera that's in a language that you do understand, be that your mother tongue or some other language you speak. There are a lot of great operas, for example, in English. There are some great operas by Britten. There are some operas in Spanish by Ginastera. The only problem is they're a little bit full-on subject-wise, but maybe you enjoy that. There is also Zarzuela in Spanish, which is a bit lighter in terms of plot, and probably a lot more from Latin American composers that I don't know. Please comment that in the comment section if you personally know of a great opera in Spanish or in any language. The third thing you should probably consider is what I would call the musical language or the musical style. Contrary to popular belief, there is more to opera than like romantic Italian music. So pretty much it's a matter of starting with the musical style that you probably will like the most. So to break it down in very simple terms, if you like romantic, very melodic music, then go for the classic Italian repertoire like Verdi, like Puccini, with operas like La Traviata or La Boheme, or I don't know, Rigoletto, one of my favorites. Also some French all-time greats like Carmen or Manon. But if you like more sort of, I don't want to say strange, but stranger, darker music, a bit more experimental. Also, if you feel like you dislike, I read in a comment recently someone saying, I don't like the way, the operatic singing style. If you feel like that, like the typical you know, opera singing that you've heard is something that you don't vibe with, perhaps go for more contemporary works. The problem is that they're very hard to digest, perhaps for a first time. So I would pair this with it being short. I would pick a short contemporary one. But the thing is that the language that they use, both in the orchestra but also vocally, is very different. There might even be a mix of talking. So if you think you might like this, I'm going to link some great contemporary operas, which, you know, contemporary is a very broad term that can mean 2019 but also 1920 at this point. But I will link what I think are the coolest ones. Fourth thing that can help you, guide you into picking an opera that hopefully you will like for your first opera experience is the plot. This is pretty straightforward as well. Try and pick an opera that has a plot similar to the films you enjoy watching or the books you enjoy reading. As a first thing, pick between a drama and a comedy. There are great comedies, mostly the most known Mozart operas are comedies. Or if you like drama, first try and pinpoint, do you like romantic, sappy movies? Then perhaps, again, and sorry, go for some classic Italian, you know, La Traviata, La Boheme. Not to say that they don't discuss broader issues and there's only a love story. They discuss a lot of things whilst the love story develops, or the love story hits problems because of, I don't know, in the case of La Traviata, because of Violeta's standard in society, because she's a courtesan. But the main plot is a love story. But if you like more abstract pieces, or if you like more, you know, critique of society, there is so much of that as well. I'm going to try and distill all of this into a list that makes sense in the description box, but I think it's a good place to start, because if you hate romantic movies, you're not going to like La Traviata. That's it. And the final thing I would consider, if you can, when you're picking your opera, and I know by the end of this video you're probably like, this is too much work, I'm not, but a fifth thing to consider is the version, what's called the regie, or the stage direction. This is of course only if you're picking something online. If you already picked something and it's in your local theater, go see it. Hopefully it's a version that's good and you like it. Or, you know, if you're unlucky and it's bad, oh well, the music is still gonna be great and you're still gonna be able to have a bit of wine and eat a pretzel in the intermission. But if you already picked, I wanna watch La Boheme, and you're watching it online, try and put La Boheme on YouTube and check out the first 3 or 4 versions and just have like a look at the first minute or two to see what they look like. Because again, everybody has different tastes, and you might like a very modern take on things. You might like the people to kind of look like, you know, 2021 people, or the complete opposite. Perhaps you like a lot period movies, period pieces, and you want to see them with big dresses. Both things are totally fine, but they have to sort of suit your taste, especially if you're trying to get into it. You know, once you like something, your threshold of it not being good is way, you know, broader, because you already like it and you can forgive. But if I'm going to see something, I don't know, I can't think of something I don't... Let's say video games. I don't really play video games. I did used to have a Game Boy and I loved it. But if I were to play a video game and you put me the one with the topic I like the least, with, you know, the type of graphs I like the least, I'm just never going to like it. But if I tell you, oh, I like bright colors and I don't like... you know, violence and whatever it is, then you will pick a video game that I will probably like. And then if I do that one and I keep going, maybe I'll end up being a gamer 24 hours in a video game. Well, that's besides the point. So I hope this helps. What I would say is, out of the 5 things I've mentioned, perhaps pick the ones that you think are more the deal breakers and focus on those ones, because you're not gonna sit and do a study of everything I said to find the perfect opera. But if you already know length is a deal breaker for you, then prioritize that and then go from there. I will try my best to do the ultimate list in the description box, but I am super keen on hearing your guys' suggestions. If you already have a favorite opera, or if you were at a point where you were getting into opera, which ones, you know, seal the deal for you. And I will see you next time.